Well, hey guys, good evening. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Great to be with Inspirations for Your Life. It's Thursday. Yes, it is Thursday. It's March 12th, 2026. Great to be with all of you here on Inspirations of Your Life. If you guys are thirsty or hungry, I've got my decaf tea right here. It is delicious. Feel free to go get yourself something. Maybe it's water or what have you, and come on back to the show. All right. Could be something to drink, something to eat, healthy or not. That's totally up to you. If you're new here, I want to take the opportunity to say thank you. And of course, I want to say welcome. If you've been here before, well, welcome back. And thank you so much for joining me on the show. I really do appreciate it more than you know. So thank you so much for being here. We have a great topic. We always have great topics. I'm sure you guys know that we have great topics. So I think that's an important thing to, definitely understand that we're doing some pretty cool stuff here. Yeah. So let's get right into the show, shall we? All right. So this is Inspirations for Your Life. This is show 5, series 5, show 11, episode number 6. Today's Thursday. It's all about discipline, integrity, values, and alignment. Yes, values and alignment. So, our master topic for the week is owning your power, intentional choices, and daily momentum. And I think that's something that a lot of people, for whatever reason, they just don't seem to get like what that's about or why that is a certain way. And I'm here to explain to you that that's very, very powerful, guys, extremely powerful. But you have to own your choices. Okay, definitely want to own your choices, and yeah, there's a lot of great things that you can actually do and become a better version of yourself. So let's just kick this off, everyone. So welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. I am your host, John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, keynote speaker, graduate student, and a passionate lifelong learner. And pretty soon I will be a published author. So tonight, I'm exploring discipline, integrity, and alignment, and how deliberate choices, unwavering ethics, and consistent follow through create unstoppable personal power. And I think that's a lot for some people to digest. They don't realize, what that's about or how they can actually embrace that. I think that's a very important thing to understand. How do we actually embrace that? Um, it could be something interesting for a lot of people to realize, but then again, it may not. And I think sometimes some people just don't really get what it's about. And when I say get what it's about, I mean they do something, but they don't understand necessarily the reason for it or why something happens. Um, so that's something I want to talk about. Okay, how we can grow from that. And so, thinking about this for just a moment or two, I want to let you know that it's all about the follow through and creating unstoppable personal power. And so, every action you take, guys, shapes your momentum, your clarity, and your long term impact. Every action, even the ones that you think, those don't matter. Yeah, those matter. They all matter. Every single one of them matters, guys. All right. So, discipline, building follow through and momentum is key for your success, my success, and those around you. Discipline ensures follow through. Commit to your word and see results manifest. Commit. A lot of people don't like to commit. They're non-committers. They just feel that they can just do what they want and hope things will just pop together. So daily discipline actions compound small consistent steps, create massive outcomes over time. This doesn't just happen overnight. It doesn't happen in 5 minutes. It doesn't happen even in a week. It takes time, guys. Discipline builds focus, directing your energy toward what truly matters. But sometimes people they get lost and I don't realize like how this works or how you can make these changes in your life. So I think that's an important thing for us to, to realize how that actually works. So thinking about that for just a moment, I want to recall back on discipline. So discipline reinforces productive habits, and it causes us to repeat success routines to make them automatic. And so when we can get a habit that works and it gets us successful, we keep doing it over and over again. And that's like a pretty cool thing, guys. That's a pretty cool thing that happens in our life. So discipline provides freedom through structure. Structure allows creativity and freedom to flourish. Discipline strengthens resilience. Staying the course builds mental toughness. Discipline maintains momentum. Consistency keeps you moving toward your goals. Consistency. Consistency is not hard, but sometimes it gets us a little bit lost. Okay. We lose our way. And I think that's something that a lot of people just they don't get. They don't get. So discipline shapes identity, and your repeat actions define who you are. Strengthens focus, even fades. Action carries you forward every single time. Pretty cool, right? All right, so let's dive in this a little further. Discipline converts effort into confidence. When we have gotten that natural high in our brain, we want to keep doing it. Like when I study and I get the problems right, it gives me that natural high. I want to keep doing it. I really love solving problems. Small wins build belief in your abilities. Small wins, it doesn't have to be a big win. Some people say, but John, it's not big enough for me to work on. Well, it is. It absolutely is big enough for you to work on. But you have to realize that it's a choice that you have in your life. If you don't make the choice to be disciplined, to be consistent, you're going to have results that you're not happy with. I mean, that's just pretty straightforward. Commentary. Think of discipline as the engine that keeps your goals moving. Every time you follow through, you reinforce your ability to trust yourself. Discipline isn't about punishment. It's about powering your potential. Discipline's important, but we know that by being disciplined, we can keep doing things over and over again. That's a pretty key factor that we can make that change in our lives over and over again. Okay. That's important. Okay. Integrity, trust, reputation, and moral authority. There's a powerhouse for you. Integrity strengthens reputation. Your credibility grows with consistent honesty. When people know your character and they know how you operate, it builds trust with them. Right? They know you're not a loose cannon. Integrity grows with the consistency we elicit forward. Every aligned action adds to our authority in life. Integrity guides unseen choices. Do the right thing even when no one is watching. I've said this so many times. Do the right thing even when no one else is watching. Because when you do this, it shapes your character of who you are. Who you are. Does that make sense? Or not? I think when we understand that one premise, there's no limit to what we can do. Integrity sustains our moral authority. Your values set the standard for others. Now, maybe you didn't know you were setting the standard for others, but you're setting a bar for yourself, and other people are noticing that bar you're setting. Integrity builds trust. People follow and rely on those who stay true. That's a no brainer. Integrity ensures alignment with priorities. Your decisions reflect what matters most in your life. Integrity protects long term reputation. Short term shortcuts erode trust. You might say, well, gee, I got to do this just this once. Yeah. And then you're going to cause your trust to just tank, cause it to tank. And that's something a lot of people don't realize why trust tanks. It tanks because you're not credible. Integrity reduces internal conflict. Alignment with values brings a sense of inner peace. Integrity creates credibility. We've said this before. Your words, your actions need to match consistently. If I say, oh, that's great, and I do this, and I shake my head, oh, that's great, and I do this, that really is going to be a problem because people are going to read that and say, oh, I absolutely agree with you. Or, I don't like the way you're acting, right? I'm sending mixed messages. So if I nod my head and say, I hate the way you're doing that, or that doesn't make sense. Okay, that does, right? But if I say, oh, that makes sense, right? That definitely makes sense. And I'm shaking my head, you're like, what's he doing? He's sending messages that don't align. How about you? But that's a very confusing thing. Okay. Um, and that can be confusing. And you might say to me, John, I don't get why this is happening this way today. Integrity, guys, directs choices under pressure. Staying principled strengthens decision making. So when we operate on a premise of being someone with a characteristic of integrity, people want to gravitate toward us. They want to work with us. They want to befriend us. Commentary, guys, integrity is your unshakable foundation. Integrity is not about something you brag that you have. Integrity is something that you proudly wear on your sleeve or, you carry with you, but it's not something you boast about. People will know if you have integrity. Trust me. Integrity is your unshakable foundation. When you build a house, does the architect, boast, oh, I got the best foundation? No, they know that if they've been building all these structures and they're still standing, there's a good chance that they probably know what they're doing and how to build good foundations. Without it, even the most disciplined person loses credibility. Yeah, I know that's hard to believe, but it's truthful. Every decision you make either adds or subtracts from the level of your authority and, of course, your influence. So, alignment, values, clarity, and, of course, focus are key to this measure. Alignment creates clarity. Knowing your values simplifies tough decisions, and alignment simplifies decisions, less friction, and, of course, more action. Alignment directs energy efficiently, and your focus goes where it matters. Alignment amplifies action, effectiveness. Aligned choices multiply impact. Alignment reduces stress when actions match beliefs. Internal conflict just disappears Alignment clarifies purpose, and your path becomes astoundingly clear when you know your purpose. Alignment produces confidence, acting in harmony with values, reinforces self belief. Alignment strengthens long term vision, consistent values guide sustainable success. So, values are not overrated. People say, oh, I don't want to do that. Okay. But it's key, guys. It's absolutely key. Alignment ensures consistent results. Your behavior matches your intention. And I think we all know that our actions need to match our words. If we don't, then we're going to find that we're out of rapport with a lot of people in life. Discipline, guys. Not only discipline, but discipline plus integrity plus alignment. Let me say that again. DIA. Discipline plus integrity plus alignment. So DIA. Discipline plus integrity plus alignment equals personal power. This triad is unstoppable. The commentary here is when your discipline fuels your integrity and both are aligned with your core values, not the ones you just decided to pick up today, you step into personal power. Alignment doesn't just reduce stress, it amplifies your effectiveness in everything you do. This is where clarity, confidence, and momentum converge. When we think about personal power, it's not about you being stronger than anybody. It's about you being able to operate within a certain framework that gets you to be more efficient, gets you to be less stressed, gets you to enjoy life more. It also gets you to learn from things that you maybe didn't know existed in your life. Maybe you didn't realize that. And that comes from a premise. A premise. A premise that maybe you didn't quite understand. And that premise can give you the ability to be successful or not. So, ladies and gentlemen, success is not hard, but success is not always comfortable. And I think what happens with a lot of people is because when something is uncomfortable, people want to get comfortable right away. They don't necessarily want to trudge through the cold. They want to immediately get inside and have a hot cocoa or put the heat on. I was talking to somebody who owns an air conditioning heating company the other day, and I said, "Tell me something. Are people more impatient in the wintertime when they're cold or in the summertime when it's hot?" And she says, "Oh, in the summertime, hands down. People do not want to be hot. They could deal with being cold, but they don't want to be hot. It's clammy. They don't like it, and they do not want to put up with it." I said, "Oh, wow." So I want you to do something for me. I want you to identify one area this week where your discipline, well, kind of lags. Commit to consistent follow through. There might be an area, and you don't have to share this with me. We're doing this for you so you can learn what that is. So you can learn what that is. And maybe that's something that you didn't think was possible, but it is. And if you could change that one thing in your life, Maybe you're always getting up late in the morning, or maybe you're always missing appointments. You're like late for appointments. How would you stop that? Maybe set an alarm. Maybe realize that by you not showing up on time, I've always said this, and I learned this from a limo driver of ours many years ago. He said, if you're on time, you're late. So we were going somewhere on a vacation, our family, and he was supposed to pick us up. I think it was 7 o'clock, or no, 6 o'clock. He was there at 5. He rings the doorbell. I'm like, oh my gosh. He's like, oh, don't worry. He's like, I'm early. He's like, just take your time. He says, in my business, when you're on time, you are late. Think about that. How many times have you gone somewhere and you've just made it in the nick of time, or someone else has just made it and it was on the time? They're late. Because if you're there on the time, you're late. The appointment has started. And what I want you to do, guys, I want you to examine a recent choice. Did it reflect your core values for which you stand for? If not, how will you adjust to it? Maybe you're always late for appointments, but you don't want to be late. You can adjust to it by just getting up early, setting an alarm. Maybe if the appointment is at 10 o'clock, you give yourself a 9, you give yourself an extra window because you know things happen. So you build that time into your schedule like a buffer. Maybe you allow time between appointments so you're not late. I think those are important things. Schedule, guys, 10 minutes daily for alignment, reflection. Clarity compounds over time. Avoid shortcuts that compromise your principles. And I want to talk about your core principles that you focus on. Recognize, ladies and gentlemen, that discipline, integrity, and alignment together are the building blocks that transform small actions into unstoppable progress. Now, I know some of you watching or listening are be like, oh, John, I'm not going to do that. Okay. You don't want to do that. You don't want to become better. That's totally on you. Engaging. Which of these 3 discipline, integrity, or alignment needs your focus this week? Are you not doing something and you have to motivate yourself to do it? Is it some integrity that you're working toward that you're just not on at the moment? Is that what it's about? I think those are important things. Or is it your alignment? Is it the tools or the methods you're using to connect with something? So one, is it the discipline? Are you just not doing it? Is it you're not doing it because of your integrity, because you're doing something else and you don't want to do it because you feel you can get out of it? Or is your alignment? Is it the tools you're using to connect to something? Think about that for a minute. Which one of these things, discipline, integrity, or alignment, in one area of your life needs your focus this week? Now, here's the catch. Take one action today or tomorrow that you're going to do, you're going to commit to, strengthen it, and share your results. So if you're missing appointments, maybe you need to go into your electronic calendar and say, okay, my appointment was supposed to be 10 o'clock. I need to set my appointment at a half hour earlier. I need an hour earlier. I need to make sure that between appointments, I allow an extra hour window, right? Could be travel time, could be other things. Maybe you know that you take lunch, and your lunch, you might need an hour and a half lunch. So you got to make sure you put that on your calendar so this way something doesn't get scheduled in that time. Momentum, guys, grows from intentional steps. Intentional steps are derived from your core values, not wishful thinking, guys. A wish that we have will get us excited to want to take those intentional steps. But just wishing for something does not make it happen. It brings us into alignment with the steps we need to take to achieve that particular action or goal or aspiration. Now, I know a lot of you are saying, John, I don't really want to do this. Well, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. You're either going to stay where you are, or worse, you're going to regress and go backwards. Well, how's that going to happen? Because if your character drops, it'll become a habit. Oh, just this time, I'm not going to do it right. Just this time, I'm not going to do it right. Or I'm going to skip ahead just this time. Maybe you're reading a book for school or something. You might say, oh, gee, I'm just going to skip reading ahead just this time. But then you keep doing it. And now you're in a pattern. That's a problem, guys. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this opportunity, if I have not already, I want to thank you so much. It's always a privilege, it's a pleasure, an honor to be with all of you wonderful people here, whether you're watching me live on a replay or you're listening to the audio cast. Thank you so much for joining me today on Inspirations for Your Life. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, remember this. Remember, discipline, integrity, and alignment, DIA. You remember those three building blocks, DIA, discipline, integrity, and alignment, DIA, aren't abstract concepts. Discipline, integrity, alignment. Discipline is you motivating yourself to do it. Integrity is that you're choosing to do something or not do something because of the moral value. And the alignment is, are you using the right tools to get you to where you want to be? They're not abstract concepts. They are the real tools for real measurable personal power. I've said this once before, guys. If you can measure something, then you can improve it or make it worse. Because you'll be able to see when you change something, if it affects it. Every deliberate action that you take compounds your momentum and strengthens your clarity. So please check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, of course, inspiring creations. I'll catch you guys real soon. And remember, guys, your power today